Welcome to the Leadership Launchpad Project, brains behind the business. It's your front row seat to the business elite. New episodes twice a week.
Welcome to the Leadership Launchpad Project. I'm Rob Calvarowski, and as always, the yang to my yin is here, Susan Hobson. Susan, how are you?
I'm so fired up about our guest. I'm hoping I'm going to get some tips and tricks from her. So let's go. Let's get this party started, shall we?
Absolutely. And we always have to start with a quote. So I have one here from Coco Chanel, and she says, "Beauty begins the moment you decide to be yourself."
Oh, one of my favorite Coco quotes of them all. Tell us why you selected this one today, though, sir.
Of course, we're all about being yourself here at the Leadership Launchpad. And we have an incredibly special guest with us today, the CEO of Pretty Girl Makeup and celebrity makeup artist, Christina Flach, is here with us today. Christina, how are you?
I'm great. How are you? Thanks so much for having me today.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us. And Susan mentioned it, and you can probably see by my Zoom camera that I'm a huge user of makeup.
I can see that. I can retire off of all that you use.
That's right. So, but of course, Christina, before we get to, my makeup habits, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I am a celebrity makeup artist. I am the CEO of Pretty Girl Makeup. I am the creator and CEO of I'm Too Busy Skincare and Makeup that is going to be launching in 2025. I'm a beauty expert on California Live NBC. I am the host of I'm Too Busy TV. I'm a mother of 5. I'm a philanthropist, and I think that's all my titles.
Can you tell us more? I want to hear more about I'm Too Busy. Tell us a little more about I'm Too Busy, and then, of course, the makeup line.
So I'm Too Busy, the TV show, came about because I had started working on this company called I'm Too Busy for skincare and makeup. And I started, both of those because I've been hearing for years from people that they go into department stores and they are sold all these things that they don't need, don't know how to use, and then they don't use them. And it's the same with the skincare. You can buy the most extraordinary skincare regime, but if you don't use it consistently, it's never going to work. So I wanted to come up with a line for skincare and makeup that are just what you need. So in the skincare, it's 3-step process. It's for men and women. The first, it's so funny, when I was going through the process of creating this with the beauty chemist, who is amazing, Steve Cochran, he created the Urban Decay, the setting spray. So he's really amazing. And he asked me, "So what do you do first thing in the morning?" And I said, "Splash my face with water." And he said, "Wrong." He goes, "Do you drink the water that you splash your face with?" And I said, "Hell no." And he's like, "Well, then why would you put it on your face?" So he said, "What we're going to do is a reverse cleansing, which is adding the moisturizer and the cleanser, and then as a barrier before we add the water to, clean the face. And then the third step is, protection and rejuvenation." So that's the skincare. And then as for the makeup, I don't see how these makeup brands think they're going to get brand loyalty when they're selling products that people don't use. How many women have a drawer full of gift with purchase products that they never use? So I want there to be just what you need for brows, concealer for under eye, shadow, eyeliner, mascara, cheek, and lip, and that's it. Because I believe that you can look like the best version of yourself in 5 minutes. It doesn't need to be a long whole thing. And I think it's not a superficial thing. We're all very visual. And so, oftentimes I hear people like, "Oh my God, I'm so tired. I feel so awful." And then they put their makeup on and they all of a sudden have some energy and don't feel quite as tired. And they can focus on what really needs to be focused on, which is a meeting, instead of like looking in a Zoom and looking at your face going, "Oh my God, I look so exhausted." So I want people to just look and feel like the best versions of themselves. And hopefully this will help.
feel like I learned more in that 5 minutes than I have in my whole life in terms of
Sorry, that's a lot of words.
in terms of makeup. I mean, I was like so excited to hear you speak because I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get some tips and tricks because I literally spend 5 minutes on this routine and I got it down pat, let's say, because I have a daughter, I have a business, I have lots going on like you. And so I'm shocked to hear that your expert advice is that it should only take 5 minutes in the morning. So
It should.
I
It
feel
doesn't
like
need to be a whole thing. And because people always complain, I'm too busy. I don't have enough time. Look, we all have the same 24 hours. Maybe get up in a couple hours earlier to prepare your food for the day. Because I speak a lot about beauty from the inside out. And you need to be disciplined and just take a little time to prepare. So for example, I make green juice every day or every 2 days, and I put it in mason jars. So I just grab it and go. I have water ready. So when I get in the car, I get in the habit of every time I get in the car, which as we all do multiple times a day, I drink water in the car. So that way I just take out I forget to drink water. Well, if you just get in the habit, it's just training yourself to have new habits and, eating well, because your body does react differently when it's eating well and hydrated. So I think you can look like a much better version of yourself if you take the time to exercise, get enough sleep, hydrate, and have the green juice. See, all of life's problems are solved.
I feel like that expert advice is exactly why I was able to get away with not wearing makeup till I was 30, is because I was an athlete and I was just eating for my sport and I was definitely hydrating all the time. So that actually is very sage wisdom just in and of itself that most people wouldn't imagine coming from a beauty expert, right? I want to back up the game tape though, and just explore some of your backstory in terms of how did you even get on this track in the first damn place? What inspired you to go on this mission in and around teaching people about beauty from the inside out?
It kind of just evolved. I never really expected to be on TV or have my own show or even doing podcasts. I was just a makeup artist. I was a mom and I was a makeup artist, and then I had my company, and little by little, it just I started doing podcasts speaking about different things, obviously all beauty related. And then when I was asked to become a beauty expert on California Live on NBC, I really kind of just was thinking about, well, it's not just about the makeup. It's not about covering up your skin. It really is about all over wellness. And the exercise and sleeping is so key. People brag how little they sleep. And we really need to, it's not called beauty sleep for a reason. It really is important. And you are going to look and feel so much better when you're rested. And it really does make my job easier when I'm on set with my clients, which I still do. I have 3 agents and I still go on set. When my clients take good care of themselves, it makes my job really hard. I've had models show up with broken out acne, actresses showing up with, face full of acne. I can only do so much. I can do a lot, but when their skin is like swollen with like tumor sized acne, I can only hide so much. So if I can train people and guide them to be the best versions of themselves, people are happier, they're laughing, and all those things matter when you're going out in front of people. Your attitude, how you carry yourself, your confidence. And so if people are feeling good, they're going to be treating other people better.
Christina, something you mentioned before we jumped on was about if you know yourself, you can answer any questions that come your way. What was that journey like for you to get to know yourself? And what do you see with your clients around? Are they in tune with who they are?
I would say that most of the clients that I have that are on TV or models and actors, they do know themselves really well. I think you have to, because you can't really do this if you're not clear on who and what you are. I think feeling comfortable in your skin and being confident is really important. When I started with my friend Berlin Fisher, who's the other host on California Live, I'm like, I can't do this. I can't do this. He's like, look, this is the one thing in life, you everything we're going to talk about is what you live and what you do. So don't be scared. And so that really made me feel a lot more comfortable to be able to realize there's like, of course you prepare for each segment in a different way, but this is my world and it is what I know. So it made me a lot more comfortable. And I think it's made me become, people are going to trust me because they know that I walk my walk. I'm just not talking it.
I want to slide over to the other portion of what the show is about, which is leadership. I'm curious, since you've been this expert in makeup all these years, you made this transition into CEO role. I'm assuming you didn't slide over to business school before you did that. So what was that transition like for you when you first stepped into your leadership high heels?
I think ignorance is bliss, because I think my friend and client Tyler Florence always says that if people knew how hard it was to be exceptional, no one would do a goddamn thing. And I think
so true.
It's so true. And I think that I didn't know. It was probably better that you're not handed, when you start a company, I didn't even know what a CEO was. I didn't know anything. And so I really had to learn along the way. And I think one of the blessings of my job is that I get to have, leaders in all different fields in my chair that are my friends, that I can ask, like, hey, how would you deal with this situation? Or what is your opinion on this? And I listen. Listening is a really important skill. I listen to, when I'm working with the people at Fox or Bloomberg or NBC or all these different things, I listen to the business people of what they say, because it's like free education. And I think, being open to asking for help. People are more than happy to help you anytime. You just have to ask.
Mm-hmm. Just have to ask. I feel like that's the hardest part for a lot of folks, right?
It can be, but I think if you can take your ego out of it, and if you're humble and gracious and you just say, hey, I need some help with this, what are your thoughts? I'm more than happy when I get calls from people that are trying to get into the business and want to do things. I'm more than happy to share whatever knowledge I have. I just think it's part of the deal. When you get to a certain level, you do need to help other people, bring them up and make them feel like the best versions of themselves.
I feel like it's just left over from like the old school conditioning of leaders need to have all the answers. Leaders need to have it all figured out. It's like you're thrust into a leadership role and you're expected to be cooked, right?
I think the best advice that anyone can do when they are in a leadership role is, you don't have to micromanage. You need to make sure that you take time in the hiring process to make sure that everyone that is on your team fits in. They have the same kind of values and, a work ethic, because you want them to be able to do I can't do social media. I have someone that focuses just on that. And so everyone, if they can have their role and have the confidence to just let them do what they know how to do, you're going to get a much better result. To be micromanaging and annoying people, it just makes the work environment really uncomfortable.
Absolutely. Christina, I'd love to hear about what you're doing as part of your philanthropy.
So I was married to Ken Flach. He was the #1 tennis player in the world, and he passed away almost 7 years ago from sepsis. And then my son, Bo, had passed away on Christmas Day, 17 years ago. So there is a school in Oakland, California called the Northern Lights School, and it is a private school for underprivileged children. Almost 90% of the kids there are there on scholarship. So the school is always looking for grants and donations, and they do a celebrity golf tournament. And so I started the Baby Bo Educational Fund and the Ken Flach Educational Fund. And so my kids have all helped. My son, Ben, Bo's twin, has been for the last 8 years playing in a golf tournament. He's a golfer, one of the top juniors in the country. And he has raised over $200,000 playing golf at this tournament for our educational funds. All my kids have helped in some way with the golf tournament or going and helping with a teddy bear tea. And I just feel that when you're in a position to help others, it's especially after you've had the losses that my family has had, I think it's super important to help others. It makes you feel better. And so we started that. And then we have the Bo Friedman outdoor classroom at the Edna McGuire School in Mill Valley, California. Nutrition and education are incredibly important to me, especially with children. And I feel that if they start from a young age, kindergarten, planting seeds and seeing a tomato plant grow and eating and cooking and, you know, doing science experiments, they're going to be much more inclined to eat well as they get older. So we started this outdoor classroom, and I just feel it's a really great way to honor your loved ones that are no longer here.
We're so sorry to hear about your losses, Christina. Do you mind me asking how that experience has changed you or even inspired some of the leadership that you are out in the world so passionately on these missions trying to affect right now?
I think it's really taught me to be grateful for what I have and not for what I don't have. And I think time is incredibly precious. I don't like wasting time. I feel that when you love someone, love them to death and love them and spend time with them. I really feel that time is just the greatest gift anyone can give. So I think that's changed me for sure. And I think raising awareness for sepsis, that's what my husband died of. I think makes me happy. I don't want anyone else to go through the loss that we did because of not being aware of what the signs of sepsis are. And your listeners can go to sepsis.org and scroll down. There's a diagram that says time. And what that is T is for temperature. You can be either hot or cold with sepsis. I is for infection in some place in your body. It could be a cut. It could be a cough or bronchitis is what my husband had. And then M is for mental decline. They start kind of getting a little not clear. And E is for excruciating pain. It's a pain like no other. You feel like you're dying because you are. Sepsis is an infection of the blood that attacks your vital organs. And so it's not like a common cold where people are like, oh, I'm going to go to bed, and if I don't feel better in the morning, I'll go to the doctor. Sepsis is ruthless, and it doesn't give you time. It will kill you. So if you have any of those signs, get to an ER, let them know you think you might be septic, and they'll take a blood test and get you on an IV antibiotic, and you should live.
I'm so grateful for you sharing that with our audience. Where I want to go with that is to ask you about all these missions that you're leading in this world, including the 5 children that you're raising by yourself now. Like, you're talking about how much you appreciate time. I'm curious, like, how exactly are you managing your time these days with all these passions?
My kids are all grown. They're all grown. So my oldest is 31 and down from there. So yes, life is a lot easier now that they're all grown up. So I have lots of time now.
And so what do you want with the time that you have left on this shot clock? Kids are grown up. You're fervently on these missions. When you flash forward to the rocking chair and you think about what you want your legacy to be someday, what do you think you want that to be?
I think it would be that I turned my passion into a business, and I inspired people to be the best versions of themselves inside and out, and I made people happy.
Love that.
Amazing. Christina, the last question we'd love to ask you is, what advice would you have for our listeners out there who want to succeed in 2025 and beyond?
Well, I think self-care is super important. Taking care of your health, keeping your immune system strong, having balance in your life. And what I mean with balance, making sure you have time for fun, exercise, eating well and working hard, and figure out what you really enjoy and love doing, and then figure out how to get paid doing it, because we all have to work. But if you're loving what you do, it's so much easier to wake up in the morning when you're excited and inspired.
It's funny you say that, just because right before we recorded with you, we recorded with another guest, and he said the exact same thing.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
So it's a great time, folks. Obviously, you would have heard that last week, but the
That
message
is really
is clear. Yeah.
Yeah. Something in the air today.
I guess so. Yeah.
In regards
No,
to
but I
this.
really do believe that. I think when you're, when you're happy and you enjoy what you do, everything is easier in life.
Amen.
Amazing. Christina, so one is I've dropped your LinkedIn in the podcast notes, as well as you can check out christinaflach.com and prettygirlmakeup.com. Is there anywhere else you want folks to find you, and how can folks support your charities?
You can also go to imtoobusytv.com. And if you would like to donate to the Northern Lights School, it's northernlightschool.org, I think. And, you could, if you want to donate for the Baby Bo or Ken Flach Educational Fund, that would be extraordinary. And I would be very grateful.
Amazing. Folks out there, we'll drop those in the podcast notes as well, so you can check those out and absolutely send a donation their way. Susan, where do you want to leave us with today?
I know I came in here looking for tips and tricks and
we can
makeup
I can give you some
strategies. No, but I was just going to say,
I can give you a few really quickly.
this is
Let's go.
way.
Okay.
No,
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Wait. What I was gonna say is that's what I was really excited to get in here and gain inspiration from Christina on. But boy, oh boy, did she have much bigger inspiration for me, for us, for our audience. I mean, this appreciation in and around time. We're always talking about the shot clock running out. And then when we do that legacy drill with our clients, Christina, we're always taking them all the way up and to the right to the rocking chair. But you're right. None of us is guaranteed that rocking chair.
No, you're not.
Let's go, legacy leaders. Now is the time. You've heard it this week. You heard it last week. There's something in this secret sauce of getting into alignment so that when you wake up every day, you're happy, you're inspired, you're enthusiastic about the life that you have created for yourself, including the work that you do. That's the best beauty routine of them all, right?
It's true.
But it's also how we all can know when the shot clock does run out, because none of us knows when that shot clock is going to run out. We know that we made it count. Right? When we get to wake up in that aligned way and we have all that neurochemistry that you described today in our interview, that's the confirmation, right? That you in fact did. You showed up and you left it all on the ice. And so I hope we've inspired our audience to get thinking about this now that we've had 2 guests in a row dropping that sage, wise, inspiring advice. How about you, Robert?
Well, I mean, before we get to me, Christina. So of course, Susan wants some beauty advice.
Oh God, you're determined on
you
this.
can't help me. I have a face for radio.
Well, you're flawless. You're flawless.
I have a face for radio, that's for sure. Now, Christina, yeah, what advice do you have for Susan?
No.
Okay, so
oh God.
You have such a beautiful smile. Your skin looks great. So I think the thing, if I would give 3 quick tips, fill in brows, concealer under eye, change your mascara every 3 months. It dries out. I think just using neutral colors and what makes you happy. Don't get into a routine wearing liquid black eyeliner in the middle of the day.
Oh, heck no.
It's a little harsh, and I would try and use a brown liner. So
wow.
Just keep it simple.
I gotta get my daughter to teach me how to do what you just described. My daughter is obsessed. It's so funny. I was a tomboy, I grew up in sports, so I really didn't even ever think about makeup till I had to go to work.
Oh my gosh. What sport did you do?
13, and she's already well beyond my capacity in this arena, which I just find to be so interesting. I was a hockey
It is funny.
Hockey player, so bucket on the head, cage on the face.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you didn't need any makeup, that's for sure.
It didn't matter. Yeah,
No.
it didn't matter. But yeah, no, thank you for those tips. I'll definitely have to ask her to show me what the heck you're talking about.
Exactly.
I'm
Thanks
sure
so
if you
much
go to
for having
Christina's,
me.
yeah, I'm sure if you go to Christina's Instagram, you can find out
Yes,
how to make it all happen. And of
absolutely.
course, the new beauty line, I'm Too Busy. Check that out, folks. Now, I mean, I don't know where I should land the plane today. I mean, it's back to this, the fundamentals, right? And it's always been the fundamentals. It's funny that you talk about sleep, and um, we've had some MIT folks, some of my classmates on the show, and they've always uh, told our audience that I was the only person who slept. And actually, I never pulled an all-nighter at MIT because I
I still
believed
can't
in
believe that.
this. And I believed that, and actually the science backs this up, and that's why I went with that, was that learning and your brain, it works where you need sleep to process and to
I
store
agree.
information. And so, of course, it's great for our brains, it's good for our bodies, it's good for our beauty, it's good for all of these things. And so for folks out there, like you're not too busy.
Yeah.
You're not.
Not too
And
busy to
you'd be
sleep.
surprised. It's so interesting. I was having a call with a business partner, and he was saying that he wakes up every day at 5 and works out every day. And by the time he gets to work, he's had 3 hours of getting things the workout's done, the food's all sorted out, the water, he's answered emails. So, if everyone could get up half an hour earlier, try that. 15 minutes and see what you get done. Go for a quick walk. It's the consistency with everything that's important, with the skincare, the diet, and the sleep, all super important, being consistent.
Amen.
Amazing. Folks out there, that's the advice. Everyone, thank you so much for listening. And we'll see you all next week.
Bye, everyone.